that you mentioned that you had found your God, which was wealth, career, success. I would like you to talk into that a little bit, because as a Christian, even though I wandered, I don't ever remember a day when I didn't think that one day I'll stand face to face with my Creator responsible for my life. Yeah. And not necessarily with a dread, or as if it's just going to be a mean-looking, God up there, but that even if it's just sitting on a cloud next to Jesus, and he'll say, okay, what'd you do with your life? I've never had a moment without that thought. You must have had a time where that never, the idea of career and wealth was only for this life then.
Right. Right. Well, and it also begged the question that I tried not to think about: what happens when this life is over? It was this very fatalistic almost way of living, that all we have is this life, and your life is just multiplied by zero at the end of it. Just there's nothing. And so I guess all you can do is just try to have the most fun, and the big thing, I guess you could say, zeitgeist in the among the secular world that I hung out with was autonomy. You need complete control over your own life, because then you'll be able to do whatever you want to be happy. And so that was really my goal. I think more than anything was autonomy. I needed money so that I could be more free, and there was almost this desperation, this like treading water to try to amass enough of whatever it was I needed, cars, money, the place I lived, whatever, to finally find that lasting happiness. And there was always one more thing. It was the carrot stick. There was always one more thing I needed to be happy. And then I'd get that thing, and there was one more thing. I mean, it just never ended.
It would almost seem that another, at least ace up a sleeve from an atheist perspective, is that I'm going to aim for wealth, and I'm going to do what I got to do to get there. And if I get myself so deep into a mess, there's suicide. Because it's just like turning off the TV.
Right.
That's all that it really is,
right,
from an atheist perspective. There's nothing afterwards. There's no judgment. There's not another life. Because an atheist wouldn't even believe in reincarnation. It's right. I'll do everything I can. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, I can end anytime I want to.
That's right.
I mean, I don't know if that was ever part of your thinking.
It's, I think for a lot of people, it can't help but cross your mind. And it's not even I think the dramatic thing it would be for a believer, because like you said, it's just sort of, my life is going to be multiplied by zero at some point. The result is the same, regardless of when it happens. And you can't help, if you're an intellectually honest atheist, you can't help but think about that. And it's scary because it's so false. But, and I think the devil really, he sees someone's thinking that direction, and he's like, yes, keep on that train of thought.
I mean, even to, again, if you see the spiritual warfare, which they would deny, you would deny that there's any other voices in your head other than your own, sets you up for the scary destination of, are you indeed thinking on your own, or are there so many other influences in your life, both from out and within, that make you think you've intellectually arrived, but in fact you are dead wrong.
Right. Yeah, I think one of the things I worry about most with people who have either fallen away altogether with belief or maybe lukewarm is that they don't understand the reality of spiritual warfare. And I think on a day-to-day basis, to be honest, I think one of the ways that my faith most comes into play, just on kind of an hour-to-hour basis, is that knowledge of that there are spiritual realities out there, and spiritual attack is real. We don't like to talk about it. It's not popular, but it's real. And looking back in my life, I see so many very, very dark periods I went through that there was definitely a spiritual warfare component involved, but it's like I had a target on my back because I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah, oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Oblivious to it. So during all those years, you didn't have somebody pull you aside and say, have you ever accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior? That just didn't happen to you during those years.
Oh, it did a lot.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Well, because in college, I had a roommate who was a devout Baptist, and kind of an interesting story. We often commented that we had so much in common, and we thought so much alike. She was a devout Baptist, I was a devout atheist, and she is now Catholic too. So now we go to Mass together, which is so funny.
That's great.
But no, she did. She really tried to share her faith with me. A lot of people did. And it would, I'm not being flippant here when I say it would be like if someone said, you know, Marcus, have you made your wish list for Santa Claus? Are you going to do that before Christmas? Seriously, that is literally how I heard that question. It was so absurd to me that I just couldn't. It's like we were speaking two different languages.
So you kind of patronized
I did.
them.
I did.
In other words, you